Shares of GameStop were cut in half on Tuesday, and silver prices retreated as the Reddit-driven trading frenzy appeared to have fizzled. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos announced he will step down as company chief executive in the third quarter of the year to focus on his other businesses, including the Washington Post and space travel company Blue Origin. Impossible Foods said on Tuesday it would cut the prices of its faux meat patties by 20% at U.S. grocery stores as the plant-based protein maker ramps up production with a larger plan to eventually undercut ground beef prices. These and more on TFT News. I'm Mike Wallace, and this is TFT News. U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday will order a review of asylum processing at the U.S.-Mexico border and the immigration system as he seeks to undo some of former President Donald Trump's hardline policies.
They remove the stain on our reputation.
With the stroke of his pen on Tuesday, President Joe Biden began the difficult process of rolling back some of former President Donald Trump's most controversial immigration policies, signing 3 executive orders, including one aimed at reuniting migrant children separated from their families.
We're going to work to undo the moral and national shame of the previous administration that literally, not figuratively, ripped children from the arms of their families, their mothers and fathers at the border.
From the Oval Office, Biden also ordered a review of asylum processing at the U.S.-Mexico border and the immigration system. Less than 2 weeks on the job, Biden has faced some criticism for the dozens of executive actions he's signed.
There's a lot of talk, with good reason, about the number of executive orders that I have signed. I'm not making new law. I'm eliminating bad policy.
Immigration advocates have urged the new Democratic administration to move quickly. But Biden aides say they need time to unravel layers of Trump-era immigration restrictions to put in place new, more migrant-friendly systems. As part of the actions on Tuesday, Biden will mandate a review of the Migrant Protection Protocols, a program that pushed 65,000 asylum seekers to Mexico to wait for U.S. court hearings. Biden's strategy is a cautious one. He's reversing hardline Trump policies while simultaneously trying to prevent a surge in illegal immigration. In a sign of his careful approach, Biden did not address repealing a Trump order known as Title 42. The coronavirus-era order issued under Trump allows U.S. authorities to expel almost all migrants caught crossing the border illegally.
Shares of GameStop were cut in half on Tuesday, and silver prices retreated as the Reddit-driven trading frenzy appeared to have fizzled.
Shares of GameStop are getting stomped on Tuesday, and so is the price of silver, along with other names favored by the Reddit crowd like AMC. GameStop shares were cut in half Tuesday to just $114 a share. On paper, investors have lost an eye-popping $25 billion in market cap as the stock crashes back to earth after hitting an all-time high of $482 last week. The buying spree led by small investors subsided as the trading frenzy fueled by Reddit message board Wall Street bets that shocked global markets appeared to fizzle, at least for now. Trading app Robinhood also maintained trading restrictions. For professional investors like Ariane Vajdani, an investment strategist at MV Financial, taking advice from an anonymous message board can only take an amateur investor so far.
If you're a person who's just jumping into a stock because a bunch of other people or buddies of yours say, let's all jump in, that might not be the best news. How many times have you done something your friend told you to do and then you regretted it because you didn't do your own research? You should do your research. Think about this. These things have consequences.
The sell-off in GameStop was just as violent as the run-up last week, which put the squeeze on professional hedge funds and resulted in billions of dollars of losses for the so-called suits on Wall Street. The fervor seen last week on Reddit's Wall Street bets noticeably died down on Tuesday, with posts now ranging from those giving up on the GameStop trade to others calling for investors to stick with the stock. Even so, younger investors like 29-year-old Joy Hubbard sees the GameStop Robinhood Reddit connection as an evolution in the world of investing geared towards their generation.
Robinhood provided the opportunity to have your hand in a part of a company, whether it be a share, stake, and so on forth, where you necessarily wouldn't have been able to, because people live check to check. I enjoyed the fact that I can get a little piece of this, a little piece of that, and it's been great.
Silver, which on Monday became another tool in the battle between the amateurs and the professionals, saw a less dramatic fall on Tuesday since it had a less explosive rally. The precious metal tumbled 7% after hitting an 8-year high the day before. And that, according to some analysts, may show that even when small investors band together, they won't win all the time.
Experts said the Sputnik V Phase 3 trial results meant the world had another effective weapon to fight the deadly pandemic.
Scientists gave Russia's Sputnik V vaccine the green light on Tuesday, saying it was almost 92% effective in fighting COVID-19. That decision was based on peer-reviewed late-stage trial results published in the Lancet International Medical Journal. British experts were among those who looked at the data collated by the Gamaleya Institute in Moscow. They agreed it meant the world had another effective weapon to fight the deadly pandemic. Their conclusions appear to justify, to some extent, Russia's decision to roll out the vaccine before final data had been released. Moscow approved the vaccine in August, before the large-scale trial had begun, saying it was the first country to do so for a COVID-19 shot. It named it Sputnik V in homage to the world's first satellite launched by the Soviet Union. Russian media reported the country will be able to vaccinate 700 million people with the Sputnik V coronavirus shot this year.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos announced he will step down as company chief executive in the third quarter of the year to focus on his other businesses, including the Washington Post and space travel company Blue Origin.
And I'm very grateful to them. I think customers are going to be very grateful to them.
Jeff Bezos, the billionaire founder of Amazon.com, who turned it from a simple online bookseller into one of the biggest technology companies in the world, is stepping down from the CEO role. Bezos, who will stay on as executive chairman of the board, made the announcement Tuesday in a letter to employees posted on the company's website. He told his workers, quote, "Being the CEO of Amazon is a deep responsibility and it's consuming. When you have a responsibility like that, it's hard to put attention on anything else." Taking over the CEO role will be Andy Jassy, the head of the company's lucrative cloud computing unit, Amazon Web Services, who will assume the top spot in the third quarter. Jassy's unit saw a roughly 30% surge in fourth quarter sales, according to results posted Tuesday. As a whole, company sales and profits easily topped forecasts as Amazon joins the rare club of companies topping $100 billion in quarterly revenues. It continues to benefit from a surge in online shopping during the global health crisis, and consumers flocked to its site to do their holiday shopping. Bezos, among the richest men in the world, said he will now have more time for his other endeavors, including his ambitions in space and his ownership of the Washington Post, writing in his letter, quote, "As exec chair, I will stay engaged in important Amazon initiatives, but also have the time and energy I need to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, the Washington Post, and my other passions. I've never had more energy, and this isn't about retiring." Shares of Amazon have soared 18,000%, not accounting for stock splits, since Bezos took the company public nearly 24 years ago.
Pfizer expects to generate about $15 billion in sales this year from the COVID-19 vaccine that it developed with German partner BioNTech.
The financial impact of the COVID-19 vaccine was front and center as Pfizer released its quarterly results on Tuesday. Pfizer expects to see a $15 billion bounce in sales this year from the vaccine it developed with its German partner BioNTech. The drug maker is racing to deliver 2 billion doses this year as countries sign up for one of the first vaccines approved to combat a pandemic that has killed over 2 million people globally. The COVID-19 vaccine brought in $154 million in sales for the drug maker in the fourth quarter, but that was just a fraction of the roughly $12 billion in company revenues since the vaccine was only approved in the closing weeks of the quarter. Overall, fourth quarter profits came in below expectations, but Pfizer raised its full-year guidance for 2021 due to the expected financial benefits from the vaccine rollout. As for fears Pfizer's current COVID-19 vaccine won't work as effectively on new variants that have emerged, Pfizer says it is prepared to tweak the vaccine to make sure that doesn't happen.
Impossible Foods said on Tuesday it would cut the prices of its faux meat patties by 20% at U.S. grocery stores as the plant-based protein maker ramps up production with a larger plan to eventually undercut ground beef prices.
In an attempt to eventually undercut the price of ground beef, Impossible Foods on Tuesday announced it would slash the prices of its faux meat patties by 20% at U.S. grocery stores as it ramps up production of its plant-based products. As consumers look for healthier, more environmentally friendly alternatives to meat, Impossible Foods, along with its rival Beyond Meat, have emerged as the leaders in the plant-based meat space for the past 2 years. Demand for plant-based products also rose during the health crisis, after some beef and pork producers were forced to close. California-based Impossible Foods, which has already cut prices for food distributors twice in 1 year, said it would keep lowering prices of its products. The company said in a statement that the suggested retail price for Impossible Burger would drop to $5.49 per 12-ounce package in about 17,000 U.S. grocery stores, adding that it will introduce similar price cuts at retail stores in Canada, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
And those are the latest from around the world. I'm Mike Wallace, and this is TFT News.